We are at Sweetwater Creek State Park and we're south today. So we are about an hour and 15, an hour and 30 minutes south of Cartersville. So this is one of those places, if you've just moved to Cartersville and don't want to go to the mountains, you can come down this way. Now, if you're coming down this way, there is a breakfast spot that you want to put on your list, and that's called Biggins. It's just right off of Highway 61. They had some cinnamon rolls that were unbelievable, and I'm kind of picky about my country ham, and it was great. So what we're going to walk today is about four and a half miles. It's the Red White Trail, and we're going to see some beautiful it's an old factory that was burnt to the ground by Sherman. So I can't wait to see that. So many films have been filmed here. I was really shocked, especially the Hunger Games, because I watched all of those. Let's get started. All right, so we were at the thing that said Red Trail. I'm still learning to read those maps, and the beginning of the trail is actually the White Trail, so we're coming up on it now because that's where we're going to end up at.
It's right behind you.
So you'll see the Red Trail from the Visitor Center, but where you want to start is the back of the Visitor Center. So it's also a little bit cold, so if you notice my voice sounding weird, it's because it's a little chillier than I thought it was going to be. So we shall see. I think it's going to warm up. I've got about 4 layers on, so we'll kind of see if I'm still wearing my hoodie at the end. All right, so we did not bring our hiking sticks today because this is what Chad said. We're going south. How steep can it be? So we shall see, because we just talked to some other people on the trail, and they were like they have their sticks, and they said one section of it is kind of technical. Now, I'm still learning all this vocabulary, but the other trail that was technical almost caused me to fall, and Chad almost to fall. So, but Chad is sure this is not going to be that way because we went south versus the mountains. I think we might prove him wrong, but who knows? So, as we're walking through these woods, there's some pretty large trees. Like this one here, you can kind of see. It's a good size. Chad is my official tree guide. So he said that was a red oak. He's been saying there's lots of white oaks out here. Maybe that's where the trail names come from, white and red. You know, in the little visitor center when we were in there, they have a pretty good display and talking about just how much community was around this factory that we're going to go see, and how, you know, when they burned it first of all, the men went off to the war and the women started working in the factory from what the sign said. And then when they came and rounded them up, they rounded up the women too and sent them to the war camps. And the little lady that they're telling the story of, she actually was in the same camp as her dad was. So that was kind of, I can't even imagine that, really. But it's just amazing how one thing could be such a part of the community, and whenever it's gone, just how much it changes. All right, so we are about half a mile from where we're our first stop, and it's stairs, which I am convincing myself is going to be so good for me in the long run. But as we go up them, they don't feel good. Oh man, you know, we've not seen a ton of nature out in the woods, so I'm really excited to see these little chipmunks. I just pictured there's a mom somewhere saying, get outside, it's not that cold, go get all that energy out. This is a tree. Man, I just want to climb up it. I know, I probably shouldn't, but maybe just a little. Oh, wow. Look inside. It is something. All right, this is as far as I can go because that's quite a bit of an angle. So I'm holding myself with my little feet. But the view is of the creek. It's very beautiful. I can't wait to see it. So Chad's told me that's a river, but I feel like since we're in Sweetwater Creek State Park, it should be a creek. So hopefully they have a name. Well, you know, we started out, we were going to do the red-white trail. That's actually supposed to be the white-red trail. And Chad is in charge of navigating. And I had confidence. I mean, he was in the Army. He said that he could read a map, compass. Well, currently, we are on the white with a little bit of blue trail that is not part of the trail we're supposed to be on. So we're going to end back up, he assures me, where we were supposed to be at. But let me just tell you another little fact. You know the tree where I said that was a creek, and he's like, that's a river. It's a creek because we just saw it on the map. So I just want to say, so far, I'm batting 100. He's like 60.
And if I hadn't taken the wrong turn, we wouldn't have seen that tree.
Oh, if we hadn't taken a wrong turn, we wouldn't have seen the tree. So now he's trying to take credit for the tree. All right, I see how this is going. The 4.7 miles, I'll be curious where we end up at, because it's definitely going to be over 5 based on how far we're having to go to get back on where we're supposed to be. I would tell you that we are on the red, the white, the blue, but I'm not for sure which trail part this is on, but it's pretty. Just as a little side note, as we are discussing what the difference in a river versus a creek, you know, a lot of it seems to be just where you live at. I mean, they did say like rivers typically are deeper. A lot of creeks fall into the river, you know, but it did say there's not a huge difference, but it's very, very peaceful. Sometimes people want to come hiking with us. Are you ready?
Can we get them to sign a waiver?
that you might get
I
them,
am not responsible.
that you might have them wandering around in the wrong circle.
I just knew that old tree was up there. I wanted to see.
Oh, wow. Oh, do you see this? This is kind of interesting. Chad was telling me about something he was reading, or if I had to guess, listening to, but about how being out in the woods, the smells,
They call it the forest now.
the forest, but the woods, either one, that the smells is part of what makes you feel so much better and relaxed. So it's called, how do you say it?
Terpenes.
Terpenes. Even if you can't tell it, your body can.
Breathe it in.
You're just breathing it in. So hopefully that's what's happening here. Just breathing it in. So this was the Sweetwater Factory. And so many films have used this, they said, for all kinds of things. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of those movies. You know, as I was standing here just kind of looking at this, I was thinking about the people that this was their job, their community, and how many people are all the time telling me, you know, I want to wait and buy a house whenever home prices come down 50 or 60%. And I always tell them, like, I just don't think that's going to happen. And if it does happen, like, this is what causes it. Some kind of devastation where people are losing their jobs and their livelihoods. And a lot of the people I talk to that tell me that, I don't know how to say this any other way, but we would be the people losing our homes and jobs. We're not the billionaires and the millionaires that come in and buy them. We're the people that load our stuff up and have to go find someplace else to rent. So I never want to see home prices come down 50 or 60% because I know that for whoever's house that is, that's what it feels like. All right, so this is where it's going to get a little bit fun. Maybe. It could just be stairs. We don't know yet. I don't know if we're on the right trail, but at least it's interesting. So we got lots of rocks. This must be the part that they said your hiking sticks could come in handy.
Technical and moderate.
Technical and moderate. But I just didn't want to walk back. Thank goodness considering somebody's taking me on the around the world trail. Not responding to
I
the.
didn't hear you.
I said somebody's taking me on the around the world trail.
Just making sure you get your exercise.
So Chad was telling me that that little waterfall right there probably had some kind of wheel that they would have used to. Whoop, that rock is slick. Try that again. Let's try it over here. That they would have. My rocks are not steady, but I'm down to go just over there a little bit. This is what Chad. I don't want to say he gets frustrated at me, but he might get mildly frustrated at me sometimes. Because he's safe over on the trail. I know two little ones that would absolutely love this trail. Of course, they would be soaking wet. Lolly would have to pack extra clothes in. All right, so this is the part that is a little bit technical. This is kind of just a slide down. Whew. This part is not made for Wally and Pop to bring the children, but the first part was great. The question is could Pop find it again? Pop, can you find the creek again?
So you trust the engineering on this?
So we saw this from below, and they always make me so nervous because you're trusting some engineering. But I'm assuming if they've done this, the view must be wonderful. So let's go. Oh, wow. Found us a perfect spot for a little lunch. Let's see. Smile. All right, so this moderate trail, I'm finding what that means is, yeah, you had to, there's no trail. You're just trying to go for it. But the view is just, I told Chad that I'm not for sure this isn't one of the prettiest places we've been. It's so amazing how when you start getting out, there's just a lot more to your area than you think. Because like I said, we're an hour and a half from Cartersville. Easy drive. We didn't do the interstate. I'm having to look at my feet because I still have trouble walking and talking. Like I said, the filming's a little bit different because, I've always been holding it. Well, now it's on, I put the camera on Chad's backpack so I don't have to hold it as much. So, kind of neat. All right, so these rocks are gorgeous because of the mica, and it just makes them shine. And I know that all the kids, all the young people, like that would just be so exciting. Now, the other thing is, as we're navigating this trail, somebody asked me, like, why are y'all doing this? Well, because when you're in your 50s, you start thinking about just your health differently. Everything just doesn't work the same. And one of the things about this, getting out on this rougher terrain, but not dangerous, I mean, it's still a path. Lots of people do it. It's supposed to be kind of strengthening our ankles and our knees, because I do a lot of walking on the flats and a whole lot of like sitting. So I just needed to be outdoors more. We've reached the point where one of us that will be unnamed begins to be tired. That's tired. Just a little bit tired. And this is where I start having to tell myself, well, you did this. You got to get out. That's where we're at. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but about the time I say I'm getting tired, I stop filming because it's hard to talk, be tired. And I will say, like, we showed you all the beauty of the trail. And then the way we got back to where we started from was this back trail that was just really kind of plain. So easy walk back, but it was great. Hope you enjoyed it.
This is where I expect us to start taking lunch breaks at work. I mean, beat this.
You know you were not super excited for this trip.
I picked this park.
You did, but you still were not excited. You were just trying to check off the list.
You just don't know what I was.
This is Chad's favorite part of every hike. All of the stairs. Just all of them.